Hey YouTube, this is Sever7 and today we are checking out the Tenable Model 6 with the ultimate goal of seeing if it's worth adding to your collection or your daily carry. Now this did come from the Lefty Pass Around group. I do not get to keep it, and after my review this will be going back to the Lefty Pass Around group. Now this was designed by Nick Swan and OEM'd by Concept, and Concept owns Tenable, similar to how we owns Civivi and Sencut. So it's like a sister brand, but it's for their more budget-oriented options. Now, just first look at this knife. I'm gonna consider this knife to be fairly rotund. We've got a big, giant, round handle, big, giant, rounded off sheep's foot blade. So it's a girthy boy, but it's familiar. All right, this isn't something we haven't seen before. We have a twill carbon fiber for the handle scales. It looks like it's that carbon fiber laid over G10, but on the website it just says carbon fiber. So I don't want to take points away from it, but there's a little, it looks like a little separation in there where it might go from carbon fiber to G10, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and we'll just say it's twill carbon fiber. The texturing is very smooth, and for hardware, we are rocking T8 for the pivot screw and then T6s for everything else. And then we have a stamped steel pocket clip. It is going to be reversible pocket clip. So, ambidextrous lock. It will be lefty friendly. And then they've given us a really generous lanyard hole, which kind of fits into the aesthetic. So I'm not too angry at it. As far as the ergos go, with the handle being this big and kind of this accommodating, it feels really comfortable. Nothing about it is like offensive or difficult to deal with. I mean, there's no contouring really, but all the edges are knocked down. And then we've got this generous finger choil, and then our other three fingers have kind of this big belly that they can just rest on. So overall, it feels comfortable. The pocket clip isn't lifted too high, so it's not much of a hot spot. Yeah, even if I white knuckle it, it's not really a hot spot, so you could feel pretty comfortable using this all day. This thing's gonna murder boxes. It's gonna crush any paper that you need to cut. I mean, super slicey blade. I I want to say we've got a flat grind or a really shallow hollow. Maybe a shallow hollow. It's close though. Like it's super close. As far as the weight goes, I mean you can kind of feel the weight. It's not super light by any stretch of the imagination. That's kind of another reason I think, because like the steel liners are going to make it feel heavy. Um, but that's another reason I kind of feel like it might have some G10 in it, because if it was carbon fiber scales, I feel like it would be lighter. The balance point is good. That's going to be right about where your finger is going to sit. You can choke up a little bit, but you just want to be careful. Watch that edge. Sharpening choil. Let's see. Mm, Actually, the sharpening looks like it ends right about here. So you're not going to get as many sharpenings as you think out of it if it was all the way back here, because it's still thick, right? right until about here. Then it thins out, right? So you're still going to get some good sharpenings, but don't be tricked into thinking that the choil is all the way back here, right? You're not going to get all of this blade to sharpen off before you start to get a smile. You're going to get to about here, if you can see that. Yeah, about, yeah, right in here is going to be where you get to. So still 3 or 4 sharpenings before you start to get that smile. We do have some indexing. This jimping isn't, I mean, it's functional, but it's not locking you in. Like, it's sharp. You'll know you're there, and it'll hold you in place for a bit, but I can pretty easily push past it. So I would say it's better than indexing, but you don't want to rely on this to lock you in place. We have a beautiful sheep's foot blade, satin finish, belt satin finish on the flats and on the blade itself. We are rocking 14C28N. The HRC wasn't listed on the site, but if I'm not mistaken, 14C28N has a pretty generous range for HRC. I don't know that many companies screw it up, so I would feel pretty darn confident in it. As far as the detent goes, crossbar locks don't have a traditional detent. You're just relying on the spring tension. I keep blocking myself. But what I can say is, you know, with Concept in the past, they've had some crossbar locks that were like way too stiff, where you really couldn't even flick them. But this one feels good. It's got good resistance. You know, it feels like you're overcoming to an extent. It feels like you're overcoming, you know, a detent, right? So if I was going to carry a crossbar lock, which I'm not the biggest fan of, you know, I would feel pretty satisfied with. All right, so the reason I'm screwing that up is because my finger is pushing on this lock bar and it's preventing it from launching all the way. That's not something wrong with the knife, that's just user error. As far as the acoustics go, they're okay. We get a click at the top and a thud at the bottom. Nothing too special. As far as the close, just like with button locks, crossbar locks, it's going to be a guillotine, because what you're doing whenever you disengage it is you're essentially removing all friction, right? So they're always going to feel like, you know, because there's no lock bar pressure to slow it down, right? There's no detent ball to kind of cause friction to slow it down. You just get a guillotine, which is fine. Some people like that. I prefer a more controlled, slow drop over a guillotine, but, you know, that's pretty subjective. With it being a reversible pocket clip, it is ambidextrous. I don't practice anything left-handed except what you see on camera. So if I can kind of do it, then no doubt an actual lefty would be able to operate it just fine. Overall length, we're looking at 7.47 inches, a blade length of 3.1 inches, and then a blade to handle ratio of 0.7 or 70%. So, you know, that's low on the blade to handle ratio. So we can clearly see that the handle is substantially larger than the blade. We would much rather see something closer to like a 50-50 or a 0.8 blade to handle ratio. At 0.8, that's whenever we really start to see that 50-50. And actually, let me grab a knife that kind of shows what I'm talking about. Give me 1 second. So this is the Artisan Cutlery Enchanter. And this has, I want to say a 0.8 or a 0.81 blade to handle ratio. And as you can see, I'm trying to get it in the light here. Yeah, sorry, it's just a little, here, hold on. That might be better. That's a little bit better. As you can see, it looks much more one-to-one, right? Obviously, it's not perfectly one-to-one, but you kind of get that. You kind of get that illusion that the blade and the handle are almost the same length. And as you can see, there we go. The blade's almost touching the backstop, or not the backstop, but the I just forgot backspacer. It's almost touching the bottom of the backspacer, right? So whenever I say 50-50 or 0.8, you know, something along the lines of this is really what I'm talking about. So just for reference. And then the weight on this bad boy is coming in at about 4.6 ounces or 4.06 ounces. So it's kind of a fatty. But, you know, for the size, for the amount of blade that you're getting and how comfortable it is, I think it's a sacrifice worth making. I mean, at 4 ounces, it's a little heavy, but instead of heavy, I would say it's it feels weighty, right? It's the type of weight that gives you confidence in the knife's performance, gives you a good solid feeling. Let's do a quick size comparison. Oh, sorry for the shake. We'll go ahead and do the Civivi Merit. And we're going to go ahead and bust out the Vanguard Cheetah. And we can see that the Civivi Merit has it beat by a little bit. And then even though it doesn't look it, it's about the same size as the Vanguard Cheetah. Reviews on these two coming soon. And let's go ahead and do the Remet Woodpecker. So quite a bit smaller than the Woodpecker. Or no, quite a bit larger than the Woodpecker, rather. Now, what's the price on this bad boy? This knife is coming in for everything you're getting, coming in at $59.89. And that is quite impressive. The fact that you're getting this much material, you're getting 14C 28N crossbar lock, and even if it's just surface level tool carbon fiber, you know, I would say the bang for the buck is definitely here. You got the nice stepped, stepped milling on the studs, which makes it comfortable to deploy, especially on the reverse flick. I think the price point on this is phenomenal. Now, would I carry this? For functionality, absolutely. There's not a whole lot that you're going to need to do in your day that this blade can't handle. So I would 100% carry it. Would I buy it? I mean, the dollar for dollar value is there 100%. But this isn't really my style of knife. So I can wholeheartedly recommend this, but it's not really my style. So this wouldn't be something that like I would buy. So if I had it, yes, I would carry it. But you know, if I'm spending $60 on a knife, I'm going to have other things that I prefer because aesthetic is just as important to me as functionality. Now, my question is this something that you would carry? Does this have a spot in your collection or your daily rotation? If it does, leave a comment down below and let me know. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit the like button, subscribe, and you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at SEVRSEVN. And thanks for watching. Until next time.